Ahoy! I'm Peg-Leg Don, the chief pirate and designer at Man of the Sea Watches. Welcome to episode 3 of The Journey is the Destination, a short video series where I will take you through the progress in building the Man of the Sea Watch brand, as well as the process of creating beautiful nautical themed watches. I originally thought today I was going to be talking about dial design, but something very exciting happened. And so I'm actually going to be doing a part 2 to the best case scenario. And if you stay tuned, I'll be right back with that episode.
The journey is the destination. Oh, oh, no matter where you go.
Hi, welcome back. So if you did watch episode 2, and if you haven't, you should, I talked about the best case scenario, and I talked about how I arrived at the way that I am designing cases. And if you recall, I had kind of a two-component system, a main center barrel that was basically a round piece, and then I had another component that joined to it that handled the lugs as well as crown guard, and then it became an integrated unit. So that was the direction that I was going, and I sent off files to be 3D printed through an additive manufacturing process. So basically the same as printing in plastic, but using stainless steel. And then I wanted to see how that technology worked, if it was ready yet, and I'm going to have some findings on that. And then I also did kind of a more traditional where I 3D printed, had the files printed out in a high resolution resin environment that you could make a traditional casting and do a bronze casting of those components. And I knew that threaded components weren't going to translate, that those would have to be machined afterwards. But I went ahead and incorporated the threading because I wanted to see how close it was. And then from a prototyping stage, there's some things that are good to have a threaded piece in, as you'll see here in a second. So anyway, long story short is, wow. All right. Here is the assembled, mostly bronze prototype. And I'll show close-ups of this in some B-roll. And it turned out just absolutely fantastic. And considering that's the first watch that I have ever designed the components to, amazingly, it mostly fit together. I had to do a little finagling. Plastic is more forgiving than metal, and so originally the crystal with the crystal gasket wouldn't quite fit in. It was a little too tight. So I had to take a Dremel tool and grind it out a little bit and got it to fit in. So now my next model, I'll adjust that accordingly, and hopefully we'll be at the right size opening that we need to be. The thing is, these different processes have different strengths and weaknesses. And so, when you're machining something from a solid block, and you can be very precise to exactly how it looks when you're done, because that's how you set up the program, and that's how the machine tools, the accuracy is just incredible. But in a casting situation, it's not quite as precise. So I wanted to make sure that things would fit together and work in that kind of environment. And that still doesn't mean that this is 100% how I'm going to go for the whole watch. In fact, I still am going to find out for the center kettle portion if I can reduce the cost in producing that part through a more traditional machining process. Then I'm going to do it that way. If it doesn't make sense to do that, then I'll do it this way. But anyway, long story short is it really just came out beautiful. The detail in it, the lug guards with the shark and wave design, the cutouts for the nameplate and limited edition number, the bezel insert, a few things. I got to make the bezel sit a little lower. There's a little bit of space in it. I don't like that, so I'm going to change that. I still have a plastic crown on it and case back because the threads wouldn't fit there, but that's a case where I have the threads in the barrel portion, and then a plastic one would fit because plastic's a little more forgiving than the metal. And so anyway, and as far as a crown goes, I can't make a crown really out of metal that I can use. Certainly not a screw down crown. So I just have this in place now, but fully functional watch. Now note, these are not the hands that I will be using. They're just so that I can tell time with it right now and wear it around, because my gosh, I can't let it sit anywhere. I have to wear it. I'm in love with it. So anyway, that was very exciting. So another thing that I did is the nice thing with this design of having the center section, and then I can make different styles of the crown, of the lug guards, which are the lugs with the crown guards incorporated. And so this one is a little different, and I'm actually probably going to end up putting that on this watch, which is the Time Traveler GMT prototype. And so I might end up putting that in this particular style lug guard set. And I've got a lot of other ideas. As you can imagine, this turned out so good that it just spawned all sorts of ideas. So there are going to be, I could do this thematically all day long, and I have some other ideas of some unique ideas that I've never seen people doing, and so I'm going to try them out and see what happens. Okay, so that was the good news. Bronze, 100% hit. I'm so thrilled. Okay, additive stainless steel manufacturing, not so much. They told me early on that it was going to have some problems, and I had to modify the design. Originally, this was just curved here, like this one is. And they said I needed to make it thicker, or it could crack when it's sintering, because they have to heat it up. When they do the additive manufacturing, it's stainless steel powder coupled with some sort of either a wax or a plastic substrate that holds it together when they can extrude it out and create it. So then they have to sinter it, which is heating it up, which burns out all the plastic or wax, whatever it is that they use, and then it condenses down into a smaller size. And so they take that into consideration when they're making it on what percentage it should extract to. Unfortunately, it just isn't consistent across pieces, and shapes get warped. This bowed way out here. This actually, anything circular that could be printed just in position probably came out fine. These pieces look fine, although there are different. The bottom, which is quite a bit heavier and has more metal component in it, is a little smaller than the top in relation to each other, so that isn't consistent either. And this bowed way out, so it doesn't even fit. It won't even fit into there. So this isn't going to be a technology that's there yet for me in how I want to use it. So anyway, that was a good learning lesson, and you got to do those because you never know. If you want to do something that's outside of the typical drawn lines, you got to make some crazy decisions now and then to vary what your normal thinking is, because you never know what that spurns in the creative process. So I'm never upset to fail a little bit. And in this case, I was actually surprised, though, the detail of the shark and the wave on this actually turned out pretty fantastic. So that actually is good, but it's not there yet for how I want to use it. But anyway, thank you for joining me for another episode. Next time, probably, I'll be talking about dial design, and I'm excited to talk about that because I think we're doing something a little different than how everybody else is doing, and I don't mind sharing it because I think that the creative process is such as that the more people that start pushing the envelope and doing different things, it only helps other people to think beyond where they were thinking already. So that's the direction I'm going to head in, and that's the way I'm thinking. And thanks again for joining me. I'm Pegleg Don, and ahoy, we'll see you next time.
Come on, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Won't you join my hand, girl.